Hello! Today's lesson is one of the most eye-opening parts of this entire course. We're going to talk about trauma, beliefs, and how your mind and body work together to shape the way you experience your life. This is the moment where everything starts to make sense, your triggers, your patterns, your reactions, and even the things you've struggled with for years. Let's start at the beginning, how trauma shaped your perception. Trauma isn't always the big dramatic event people imagine. Trauma is anything that overwhelmed your nervous system at a time you didn't have the tools or emotional safety to process it. Trauma can be being yelled at, feeling ignored, emotional inconsistency, divorce, reaction, bullying, constant criticism, unsafe environment, or even having parents who are stressed, distant, or emotionally unavailable. Trauma is not the event, trauma is the internal impact. And here's the important part. Trauma changes the way you see yourself and the world. Your brain adapts to protect you and carries those adaptations into adulthood. You might overreact, you might shut down, you might fear abandonment, you might expect rejection, you might assume people don't care, you might feel unsafe even when nothing is wrong. You might distract or move yourself away from a calm environment because chaos feels familiar to you. Nothing is wrong with you. You're not broken. Your brain has simply learned to survive in the best way it knew how. But now you're learning a new way, and that changes everything. So let's talk about how childhood beliefs were formed. Most of you, or your core beliefs, were created before you reached the age of 8. All that age, your brain doesn't have the logic or the reasoning. It only has the emotional interpretation. So a child experiencing stress, pressure, fear, inconsistency, emotional neglect, or even simply misunderstandings will interpret those moments as beliefs about themselves. For example, you might assume, I'm not good enough, I'm the problem, something is wrong with me, people leave, love is unpredictable, I have to be perfect to be safe. These beliefs become emotional programs that run in the background until you update them, which is exactly what this course is teaching you how to do. You aren't living from who you are today. You've been living from beliefs your younger self created to survive. And now you're learning how to rewrite them. So let's talk about generational programming. This is such a huge part. Not everything you feel started with you. Some patterns are inherited through family behavior, generational trauma, emotional modeling, belief systems passed down, and even energetic imprints. If your parents struggled with anxiety, fear, perfectionism, anger, insecurities, emotional suppression, addiction, shame, or emotional disconnection, you may have picked up on those patterns before you even had language to understand them. Kids absorb everything. You learned how to think, feel, cope, and react from the emotional environment you grew up in. And sometimes the beliefs you're carrying weren't even yours, they were inherited. This course helps you finally break through those chains. So let's actually talk about the science that goes behind this. So there's researchers who took both rats who were both healthy rats, and they had a female and a male, and they took the male and they separated from the female and they put the male through very traumatic experiences. And before they did all of that, so the female was fine, the male went through traumatic experiences. Before they did all of that, they tested their DNA before, and then they also tested it after. After the male had went through traumatic experiences, they retested the DNA and they realized that the male's DNA had changed. Then they took the male and the female and they mated them. And the female had gone pregnant. Then they separated the male rat from the female so the baby rat would never have known the male or be able to pick up on any of its behaviors or anything like that. And so when the baby came, they tested the baby's DNA and they realized that the baby had inherited the traumatized DNA from the dad, not its healthy post or pre-DNA before it got traumatized. And from this, they realized that trauma can be passed down, fear can be passed down, emotional patterns can be passed down, sensitivity can be passed down, and survival programs can be passed down based on what your parents or their parents have been experiencing. So you're not imagining your patterns. Some of them didn't start with you. They were inherited in your nervous system. But here's the empowering part. Healing can also be passed down. When you clear emotional layers in yourself, it affects your children, your future children, and even the way your family line experience emotional movement moving forward. Your healing really does change your entire bloodline. When you heal, you stop repeating old patterns, you stop passing down emotional burdens, you change the energy your children grow up in, you break generational cycles, you create emotional safety for the next generation, you become completely different parents or partners and humans for society. The moment you learn to process emotions instead of suppressing it, you change. You change how you communicate, how you love, how you react, how you forgive, how you set boundaries, how you handle stress, how you show up in relationships. Your children or your future children will inherit this version of yourself. Just like you can change your DNA for the worse, you can also change your DNA for the better as you heal. So your healing doesn't just change your life, it changes the family line that it came from generations back, not just from you. This is generational freedom. You need to remember you're not broken, you're not too much, you're not the beliefs your younger self created, you are not the trauma your family carried, and you are not stuck with the emotional patterns you inherited. Everything can be healed, everything can be rewritten, and that's exactly what this course is helping you do. In the next video, we're going to talk about this and understanding even deeper as we continue building your emotional toolkit and your awareness. So you're doing amazing, and let's just keep going.